Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. In the last two videos, we learned about KQL operators, aggregation and grouping in KQL. In today's video, we will try to build a few queries using those concepts. If you haven't watched my previous two videos on KQL, you can check them out in the description below. I have provided the links there. Let's get started. Now let's try to build a simple query. So we are using a feed as security incidents. If you run this, you will get the incidents which are generated in the last 24 hours. And if you check here, incident number, if you can see here, we are having the duplicate data, but actually we need the distinct one in the security incidents, which will give the exact count. Let's say if suppose I give distinct incident number, and if I try to run it, I'm not getting the full data, but individual incident numbers that are generated in the last 24 hours. So how can we do this? Or how can we build a query which will give us the details for the unique incidents with all the fields? Now let's try to run the security incidents again. If you see here, I mean, when you compare all the fields, here if you see here, there is first activity time, last activity time. So which means for the different events, which means like when incident got created and incident got updated, we are having the events. But we don't need all the events which are present for a single incident ID. So what we do is like, so we can take a incident ID where it was modified or some update is happened in the last. So we can use an operator called as summarize, which we already discussed in the video. Summarize. We can use argmax. So what it will do is like it will give us the results for a field but that we provided. So it will take that field as the maximum one, which means like suppose if we give the time generated, it will take this event. Suppose these are the two events, and since the time generated for these two are like which are difference in around 11 seconds, so it will take the maximum one, which is nothing but 10221. And if we need all the fields, we need to give the star, or else if you have any particular fields, then you can give those fields. And here by, since incident number is the unique one, we are giving the incident number. Now let's try to run it. As you can see here, we are getting the unique incident numbers along with the time generated, incident name, and all the fields which are related to it. This is how you need to analyze, or how we can use the existing operators to create a query. Now let's try to create some other query. Now I'm using the custom table, which is nothing but web activity CL. So if I try to run this, as you can see, like I'm having different actions like file upload, download, login, and I'm having this IP range as well, which is 10.0.0.24. I mean, it was in that 0/24 subnet. Let's take the last 7 days data. I'm having these only. Let's try to change it to, okay, let me take it 30 plus days. If you see here, I'm having total 75 events. And if you see here, I'm having the IP 192 as well. There might be a scenario like, or here, if you might be this is your corporate network, so you don't want to check the logins for this particular network because it was already secured in the uh, our organization, and we don't need to investigate the alerts or logs on this particular IP. So I need to whitelist it. How can we do that? So we can use an operator called where IPv4 is in range. So here you just need to pass the field, which is nothing but IP, and here you need to give the range. Let me give 10.0.0.0/24. And if I try to run this, You can see I'm just only getting the events which are related to this particular range only, but we need to whitelist this. So we just need to add not before this particular IPv4 range function, and if I try to run it again, you can see it got whitelisted. So this is how you need to think the logic. So based on the logic, we just need to create the KQL query. Okay, these two are the queries which I have created. You can use, might be you can filter this based on the action and you can try to create it. The only thing you need to do is like what are the inputs that you need to take and what is the output you want to get. In between, you need to form a query. So you can use the different conditional functions. If there is a condition which is happening in that particular place, you need to put either where or some other conditional operators which are already present. Here we are using this not to whitelist this particular IP, but in case if you want to include, we will just remove this not. So based on your use cases, you just need to develop these queries. That's all for today. See you in the next videos.